Mother, man.
Howdy, Genene Jones on Murder Metal Mayhem. Y'all won't be hearing from Tex. He's shivering in his britches.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
Damn, Genene Jones. I don't know how they smuggled that audio out of the prison.
Don't know how she know Tex. Fuck.
I don't know. Something's up with her and Tex. Apparently some bad blood. All right, it is Tuesday, and we are throwing down a new Murder Metal Mayhem. We are in Hornseye Studios for the Hornseye Podcast Network, guys. Episode 180 tonight.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I was looking at the schedule, guys, and it looks like the fall we will hit episode 200. So that's, damn, Chris, that's a lot of episodes.
Never thought I'd get this far.
No. So got Chris and Joey in here, of course, with me. Man, the weather, guys, is
Pretty fucking dope.
Awesome.
pretty fucking amazing. It's like 72, 73 today. Just absolutely perfect. But the gas price is definitely not perfect.
Not
Holy
perfect
shit.
at all.
What the fuck, man? It cost me
Nowhere
$60 to fill up my truck. Or
I'm
my
going to start
car,
rollerblading.
Right? I don't know, man. It's crazy. So
Saw that meme like, just cocaine or gas is so expensive, cheaper to do cocaine and run everywhere.
oh, that's the fucking truth. All right, what t-shirts we got on? Chris, what you doing over there?
I got the Murder Metal Mayhem skull hoodie and the Murder Machine clothing
There you go.
skull hoodie and the Murder Machine clothing different skull t-shirt.
Nice. Well, all those M's, you know.
Right.
And we're in tight with Jason. I mean, we always
hell
talk
yeah.
about his stuff. Great shit. So I'm sure he doesn't mind being confused with us.
Nope,
And
not at all, I'm
likewise,
sure.
we with him. So Joey, what about you over there? It's some Disney
Yep.
t-shirt, it looks like.
I got a compulsive mutilation shirt. The back
Nice.
says, happiness hangs on a meat hook in my basement. But this is my buddy's band, Eric, and I wore this one because I just released a fucking little EP from this project we did called Krotchripper. Just released that this week, but one of the guys from Compulsive Mutilation, he's in it.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so go check that out.
Very cool. Very cool. And because we're doing Genene Jones tonight,
Dying fetus.
I come up with some dying fetus shit. Subject to a beating on the back, fucking nasty as fuck. So, been jamming them today just because. So, all right. Last week, guys, we did another despicable fucking female in May.
Yep.
Gruesome story
She
of
just-
old Gertie Banashevsky.
She just I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
Just evil, man.
Manipulative and evil.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff she did, a complete piece of shit from Indianapolis who tortured and killed a teenage girl, Sylvia Likens, and Joey. I mean, the whole thing with the kids, her kids were involved.
Oh,
and
yeah. Fucking
neighborhood
crazy.
kids. I mean,
Yeah, it's one of them fucking
horrible.
weird ass cases. We talked about a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, and
Just that control, almost like a
Exactly.
cult, like
Yeah,
Jim Jones kind of figure
Yeah.
to a degree.
Yeah.
Oddly, Indianapolis. So we
Gertie's
talked about-
cult.
Yeah, very, very weird. So that was a good one. If you missed it, Chris, you did your feature on an individual.
Yeah,
That
Eric
was cool.
Rutan, man. Fucking Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal. Fuck
Yeah,
man.
fucking sick. That was a great idea, and it definitely's got my brain thinking of, maybe I'll try that
you know,
with other musicians. You know?
and if people just started listening to the podcast, maybe in the last few episodes, I just want to clarify, we're not like big time women haters on this podcast. 'cause
No.
all of our May features have been women, so
Right.
we're not. If you just started,
Oh,
you're
that's
like,
a good
You're
point.
like, man, why these motherfuckers
Yeah,
always
these hate on some
Why
women.
they
man.
hating on the women?
Trust me, we're gonna get back to some bogus dudes.
No, all
and shit,
three of
too.
us love women very much.
Yeah.
Very
so,
much.
No, we all have moms.
No,
and
it is
it's
funny
all
though because
good.
we do a whole fucking month. Just
Yeah, because it's inspiring. You know, we've
Exactly.
done the dads for Father's Day.
did,
John
yeah.
List. I mean, we've done some good ones. Of course, most of them are men, so this is odd that May just seems to be our female month.
Oh, yeah.
But we're doing a nice palate cleanse next week. We'll talk about that. But episode 179, if you missed it, we did a great killer cage match and karaoke stuff and all the usual. So we were just passing 900 listens to that when I checked it earlier. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Tonight, though, we are closing out the disgusting females with one more, Chris.
This bitch, man.
Really fucking evil bitch. All month we've been doing it. We're going to the state of Texas and doing the case of the murdering nurse, old Genene Jones.
Yeah, normally we do have Tex in here with us, but as Genene said, he's too scared of her
That's
to
right.
be on the podcast right now. So that's why Tex isn't with us on this Texas
We're going to have
case.
Tex with us in spirit.
That's right. Well, to be honest, and I know that, you know, we talk about Tex like he's some sort of mythic figure, and I guess in ways he is. You know, but the thing is, legitimately, Tex is on that manhunt,
searching for that
looking for that escaped
murder.
inmate, the one you've been hearing about on the news. He is part of that group. So he is literally like hunting this dude down. I can't wait to eventually talk to him about it. But that's why he's not here, is he is literally in the woods. They're going through with dogs and doing all sorts of stuff. So
It's like that game Hunt a Killer, but real life.
right. So Tex, buddy, I hope you're safe and that you guys get to come home soon, because, yeah, that sucks. They still have not caught him as of today. So it's been, going on a week and a half maybe? So that's fucked up, but that's why Tex isn't here. But this case is so awful. I mean, we're talking about possibly up to 60 infants she murdered in the 70s and 80s when she was working at 2 different hospitals in the San Antonio area.
Like that's your target go-to. Like,
yeah, I mean, so awful, so sad. So anyway, that's why Tex is not here, even though he's the one that suggested this topic. Right. So anxious to do it.
Yep.
And I know he's not here, but he was definitely pumped to hear what we do with it. So, Joey, you got the horns tonight. What's your plan, dude?
I'm keeping it in Illinois again, as I do that a lot. But I'm going to go a little bit more underground with our buddy's band Krotchripper from the Quad Cities here on the fucking west side of Illinois.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm going to do that. Plus, I did an interview with Alex from Krotchripper, and y'all will be able to hear all that too.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And that'll be, we're playing a piece of it tonight, and then the full interview will be tomorrow. I think it's like 30 minutes, something like that.
Right.
That was great. I listened to pieces of it.
I listened to the whole thing today.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
Fun.
I usually do when it comes out.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've been removed from it for a few days.
Right.
But I always like to hear them all, because I always learn stuff, you know, and Alex is a really cool guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure it turned out awesome. And Chris, you got a Lost Classic tonight.
Classic, yeah.
And so we'll do all that in the metal segment. Very, very cool. And some updates on Full Terror Assault. Maybe we could bring that up too. That's
Definitely.
Talk about fucking, we'll bring a little update on Full Terror and on fucking the Tampa Death Fest.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, Killer Cage match tonight, guys. That's when we get our listeners to provide some random numbers on our Facebook page to decide who's fighting and what they're fighting with. And Chris,
yeah, we got our listeners right here. We got Christy Grand, we got Gummo Wallbacon. What up, homie?
Hell yeah!
And we got Rebecca Boomsock. Always,
Rebecca. Oh, Ray, I noticed Ray McFalls isn't on here. Old Dangling Fury or Furry, however you want to say.
He tried, but he was busy.
He was busy, I guess. So anyway, so yeah, those three. Thank you guys very much.
Fuck yeah.
And got a good one going down in the cage tonight, Joey. Another familiar face. We've seen him recently.
Yeah, in the fucking in the cage match, we definitely have seen Mr. fucking Jeffrey Dahmer from Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
But he's going to be going up against somebody we haven't seen, and that's the fucking mob hitman Whack Whack.
Fuck yeah, man. Definitely brutal. I looked up his picture on Googled it, because I just needed a visual. And he's pretty fucking mean looking. Yeah. Definitely would not want to fuck with old Whack Whack. He's in the Danbury prison over there by where CK was living. Yep. But anyway, so that'll be interesting. I don't know if Dahmer stands a chance with a dude named Whack Whack.
Dude,
but,
no way, man.
But you know, Chris, with the objects,
the
variable,
and maybe Dahmer's just thinking like Whack Whack, like
whack me off.
yeah.
Yeah, his eyes might have lit up there. When
Right,
he heard that.
exactly.
But all right, we're going to do that, of course, in the Mayhem segment. So you guys stay tuned for that.
This should be the last week of Chris with no teeth.
Fuck yeah.
That's right. That's his new teeth tomorrow. So that's awesome. Be all smiling like a boy band over there.
Ding.
We got a sponsor for this month. This is their last week. We want to say thanks again to Blasphemation.
Awesome.
From Tampa, some death grind, nastiness. They got that new full-length album coming out, Phantasmagore Beyond Strange. It's very, very badass. We've been playing some cuts from that. Also, Joey, they're part of a big show coming up.
Yeah, they're behind the big Tampa Death Fest that goes on in Brass Smoke down there.
Nice.
And that's going to be in September, and I'll give a little more info on who's on the bill tonight since it's the last week for their sponsor.
Awesome. Yeah, Friday, September 30th to Sunday, October 2nd. So looking forward to those details, Joey. We'll do that in metal. So very, very cool. A lot of bands on that bill, including Blasphemation. All right, thanks to all you fuckers out there listening to us. We appreciate it. We had a good week here, just coming in around 2,600. So thank you to everybody that does listen.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
Really cool. Isle of Man is number 9 in the countries listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Isle of Man.
Isle of Man.
All right.
I don't know exactly where that is.
I have no idea.
Remote place,
thanks for all you out at Isle of Man.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know how many listeners there are.
Like ISLE?
Yeah.
And then just man.
Man. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna see what pops up right now.
Yeah, you're gonna check that. But on the cities,
it's between England and Ireland.
Okay. All right. So maybe not so remote.
Rugged
we've been doing a lot of UK stuff here lately with bands and Joanne Dennehy, so that's cool.
It's known for its rugged coastline, medieval castles, and rural landscape.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Cranking some fucking Murder Metal Man.
Yeah, definitely someplace I'd like to check out.
Yeah, that might be kind of cool. So that's always interesting. And Phoenix has been dominating in the listens for cities. They were number 2 right behind Chicago. Phoenix, Toledo's still on there.
419.
Just really cool to see all the different listeners and where they're from.
Definitely.
Indianapolis, maybe because of Gertie.
Gertrude, yeah.
We see a big uptick in Indianapolis too. So thank you. All right. Well, we got a lot on our plate tonight, guys. Heading down south to the great state of Texas. And let's see if we can find any nurses that are killing infants before they fucking do it so we can stomp their fucking ass.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. Let's get our infant side on.
Well.
I'm about to kill a bacteria. Another parasite that feeds on a dog. In bloody carcass that's sickly and wretched. Oscar humanity is maggot infested.
Getting fucking nasty with a little jungle rat.
Fuck yeah, Wisconsin.
Hell yeah. Their album, A Call to Arms, comes out or just came out. Very, very kick-ass. That was the song Maggot Infested. And those guys are getting ready to go on tour with Internal Bleeding.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like my lunch.
So
Maggot, that's my lunch.
Yeah, they got some fucking badass shows set up along that. So
yeah. So very, very cool. We had Jimmy, of course, from Jungle Rat on a while back. So definitely support those guys and go check out that new one, A Call to Arms. Now, tonight we're going to be doing the story of the killer nurse, Genene Jones, known as the Angel of Death. The only other person I know of called the Angel of Death would be Joseph Mengele,
right?
The piece of shit Nazi fucking maniac. But
the Slayer wrote the song about him, not her.
That's right.
Exactly.
But the fact that she shares a nickname with that piece of shit puts her in a fucking stratosphere that very few could fucking occupy.
For real, man.
That's fucked up. But we're talking about a pediatric nurse in the San Antonio area who is possibly responsible for the murder of as many as 60 infants under her care by, some devious shit, injecting them with massive doses of medication that did all sorts of horrible shit to these kids. In some cases, we're talking about excessive bleeding, others paralysis. Really heinous stuff.
In some cases, fucking death.
And yeah, in many cases, death. So this is just absolutely terrible. A nurse doing this to patients, and the fact that they're infants just makes it that much fucking worse.
Terrible.
Chris, now this one reminds me, and I'm sure both of you as well,
Right.
Jane Toppin. We just did this one not long ago, another nurse. But we're not talking about babies with Jane Toppin, but do you see a lot of similarities between the two?
They were easy victims for them in both ways. And
Right.
And as far as like Genene, like the thought in your head, like I guess like one of the reasons she was doing it was for attention.
Right.
That's why, and they were easy victims. They couldn't talk back or anything. They couldn't defend themselves in any kind of fucking way at all.
True.
So that makes it really fucked up.
Yeah, because Jane Toppin was with mostly elderly people.
Right.
Not all, but a lot of them were elderly.
Right.
But Genene Jones, like you said, Chris, the defenseless, the fucking infants.
Yeah.
In intensive care at that. You know, so they were touch and go. Now, Joey, what do you think about this one with our true crime fans? Is this going to be a name that very many people are going to pick out?
I don't know if this one's as fucking known.
I don't think so at all.
Now, I think it's a possibility if people are really into true crime, they might have run across it and heard
or
the story.
Especially our Texas listeners.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure,
man,
you know.
no, whenever I saw we were doing this one, I was like, man, I really got to fucking dig into it and find out what's going on, because, aside from the generalization that she killed some people, that's all.
Exactly.
Kids, but.
Yeah, so Tex was the one that told me about it,
yeah.
and I watched the documentary, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this would be brutal.
That's why Tex is here in spirit.
That's right, that's right. Even though he's shaking in his britches.
Yeah.
She's one of the worst when it comes to killer nurses. And, as nurses, we've talked about this before with mothers, people like this. Their care is in our hands, especially a nurse. So that trust factor is just
huge.
Is huge, exactly. And when it's abused, that makes it that much fucking worse.
Right, it's like you're literally here supposed to be taking care of people, not
and you're doing that.
This terrible shit that you're doing.
Yeah, for attention, like Joey said. So similars to doctors, of course, we did just recently Christopher Dunch, the old Dr. Death himself.
Like
Harold Shipman is definitely one that needs to be done.
Right.
For sure.
Fucked up stories of him with being a doctor and doing shit to kill his patients.
I think it's crazy the way between Genene and Dunch is like how they kept going from place to place with like
there was some
glowing
parallels.
recommendations almost. It's fucked up. So Genene Jones is born in San Antonio in 1950 and immediately given up for adoption. So
you're like, no.
Yeah. We're going to
you're
put
gonna
this
do
one
some
back.
fucked up shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
fucked up.
associated with that.
She was adopted to a wealthy family, though, with 3 other adopted kids. The adoptive parents, Dick and Gladys Jones. So she wasn't born Genene Jones, but nonetheless, that's who she is raised by in this huge mansion just outside San Antonio city limits. Beautiful gardens, a swimming pool, fucking tennis courts. This
Living
is
it up, dude.
fucking doing it up for sure. All the fixins.
Move a movie star.
Got that Joel Osteen money.
Exactly. Joel Osteen. Dick Jones owned a shady nightclub, though, the Kit Kat Club. Definitely sounds like a strip joint.
Well, yeah.
Illegal gambling going on there. So definitely not the optimal situation for a dad's job when you're raising a family.
Kit Kat Club sounds like a place I would play Goremonger show at.
It does. It does. I could see Low 12 playing there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So definitely a shady type situation here. Now, Chris, old Dick Jones is having some problems with the Kit Kat Club. He had to sell it.
Yeah, that's because he had fucking gambling issues of his own. He was in
Right.
fucking debt. like a motherfucker owing all kinds of people money and shit.
So what is he has this strange idea, man?
Let's tear this mansion down and build a fucking trailer park, boys.
No, the mansion was staying. He was just doling out some of the property.
Right, that's what it was. And he's like trailer parking it and then trying to put like some kind of fancy restaurant in the middle of the trailer park too. Like why would you put a nice fancy restaurant in the middle of the park, yo?
Yeah,
like,
and it's like you have this beautiful place and you're going to put a trailer court on the property?
I mean,
it's just weird.
I'd fucking chill. Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, I'd do it. Fuck
it seems like everything you're saying could be lyrics for a song by Old Dick Jones.
Old Dick Jones. So just a strange situation here. So Genene is much closer to her father and often battled with her mother, but, teenagers will do that. She's in conflict with her older sister, believing that her mother favored her. Genene would like to go on car rides with her dad because after he got out of the Kit Kat Club, he started the billboard business, buying up land and putting up billboards. And so she would go out on these scouting missions with him to look for new places.
Hell yeah.
And she enjoyed that.
Road trip. Grab the beers.
Road trip with dad. She entered high school in 1965. She would show signs of some personality flaws, like trying to outwork everybody. Talking about how she, being that she was smarter than everybody else.
You're one of those people. You got to one up me, right?
Yeah, worked harder. Always like over the top, working super hard, pissing people off. So she is just very combative. She's not a very pleasant person.
She's like, I can kill more babies than you, just wait.
That's right. Hold my fucking beer. She becomes a bit of an outcast amongst her classmates. Nobody wants to be around some bitch like this. Another one of those common things that we see with the features here, they're kind of loner types, I think in this case, though, she was so difficult that nobody wanted to be around her.
Fucking narcissistic.
Oh yeah, big time.
About herself, even so young, dude.
And oddly insecure at the same time. So it's like insecure, but like super all about herself.
Chris, say narcissistic and insecure.
Narcissistic, insecure.
With his teeth, that's pretty good.
Picking on him all the time.
He's doing good.
Getting the teeth tomorrow,
what the fuck, man? I don't give a shit.
We're not going to fucking get it anymore.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Don't lose these, okay? I read that she was a pathological liar, because she is, exhibiting all these things, and the pathological lying doesn't make it any better. And she is definitely, planting some seeds for a real fucking break from fucking reality here and doing some psychotic shit. And one of the stories she told, I saw that she was related to Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. That's kind of an odd random thing.
I didn't see that. That's fucking
funny. She's doing crazy shit. Like she's challenging her male classmates to drag race with her dad's El Camino.
Fuck so yeah, she's dude. Fucking get that El Camino out.
She's just monkeying around.
Fuck yeah.
That's right. Jamming the monkeys on the stereo. That's my bro, man. She was reckless, though, and she won a lot because she was just fearless.
Right. You can't fucking talk shit if you're winning,
That's right. So Genene turned 16. Her younger brother was fucking around making pipe bombs. I read to read that twice. And one of them went off. This motherfucker's like suicide bomber shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Metal shards going into his head and fucking kill him. So, Chris, I mean, what the fuck kind of household is this that Tommy is in the back fucking bedroom making a fucking pipe bomb?
I'm not going to lie to you. I fucking got some gunpowder one time and was like, how do I make a bomb with this shit? I fucking put some shit together.
You remember my pipe bomb story?
Your pipe bomb? No.
Whenever we went to Springfield and I was playing Cripples Make Me LMFAO and dude
blew
his hands off with the fucking pipe bomb.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Making mortar, Wow. It's like you've got all the fireworks in the fucking world.
Why you want to build a fucking pipe bomb?
Right. And there's kids like, oh my God, it was such a bad situation.
That's so bad.
That doesn't seem like very safe house if your kids just around making pipe bombs.
No, just not good. I don't know how young he was, but she was 16, so he's obviously younger than her. But yeah, he gets killed building a fucking pipe bomb.
I mean, it's not that fucking dangerous. The fucking Columbine kids made pipe bombs, put them all over the place, and they didn't do shit with them.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah, duds. But Genene seems to milk the attention that she got in school over his death and kind of sets the stage for what she'd wind up doing later on, which is just absolute atrocity. Tragedy would strike again. Her father dies of cancer in 1968, and Genene would slip in and out of depression, and she wants to marry the school delinquent, Crystal, Dropout Jimmy.
Fuck yeah, man.
Her mother refused to give her permission. Go figure.
That's going to be my next voice I do.
Dropout Jimmy. Yeah, Dropout Jimmy made it good, though. He got the fuck away from her. She needed, though, her mother's permission to marry him at the age she was in Texas. But once she graduated from high school, she goes and marries old Jimmy. Yep. Ends up in the trailer park on the property. So that's fucking special.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. But, if her mom wouldn't have fucking allowed it at all, the kid might have been still in the trailer, at least. Not in a fucking cell at fucking
She
prison.
had to learn that lesson the hard way.
I guess.
Yeah, there'd be those kids still alive.
That's true. That's true. So Genene does marry old Jimmy. Jimmy's playing around, acting the fool, drinking all the time. He winds up joining the Navy. But while he's in basic, Genene cheats on him multiple times, continually striving for attention.
She loved talking about sex, too, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, she told all sorts of inappropriate jokes.
Yeah, like all the time, yeah.
She got that sickness for dick.
Bitch be high on semen.
They did have a son, but in 1974, they wind up getting divorced, and she has him on her own as a single mom. So Joey, the hits just keep on coming because now her brother dies. Yeah. Another brother.
Testicular cancer this time, 1976, and then... She's already got the one kid by herself now.
Right.
Gets pregnant again.
Not good.
But I mean, not everything's bad because she was still like career fucking oriented.
Right.
At the moment.
Yeah, and she stayed on the fucking path and went through fucking nursing school.
Yeah.
She graduated as an LVN. So, vocational nurse, not just registered nurse. So,
well, the registered nurse is a one up,
right? You get more money for that.
Yeah. So, but still, though, she did the LVN.
Yeah,
and so she's a licensed vocational nurse. So that's awesome. Like Chris said at the time, she had a good, let's get education
right, exactly.
so I can provide for these.
That way, I can
babies.
kill babies and nobody will know.
That's right.
I mean, she didn't kill her babies.
Yeah, she didn't. That's kind of interesting. Genene would brag to the other nurses that she could give a fly an IV.
So. Well, these motherfuckers at the fucking goddamn plasma clinic can't do
dude,
shit. Dude.
Show beat that.
Bro, I went and fucking donated fucking Friday.
Oh, God.
Dude, look at that shit.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Wow.
Well, I'll take a
Looks
picture
like
of
Joe
it and put it on the
Dennehy's
fucking...
been beating up on you, man.
Dude, for real. Like,
That's
I woke up
fucked up.
Saturday like, what the fuck, man?
Stephanie does IVs and shit, so as soon as I saw that, I was like, let me get a picture. I got to send this to her.
Yeah, that's funny. They're really good at the VA, man. It's like every time, first time, boom. Yeah. They're really good. So she's bragging about this, but I mean, legitimately, she was really good at doing IVs to infants, which has got to be tough. But she's not making friends at nursing either.
No.
I mean, everybody dislikes her. She's at this good Methodist hospital, though, like Chris, you were saying with Christopher Dunch, seems to land the good jobs because she comes from the school. She's got good grades.
Boom, fucking talk
on
yourself
paper,
up.
looking really good.
Yeah, on paper, looking
and also like fucking,
game.
also like him, she was really professional and good towards the patients.
Right.
But behind that, she's crass as fuck.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. When everybody was looking, she was really top shelf. Right.
Yeah.
So San Antonio is where she is. 1977. Only takes it 7 months before she gets fired. Her employer was happy with her at first because, like you said, she was very enthusiastic. But then she's making some really weird decisions and definitely going beyond what she should have been doing. And so, without that authority, so they had to let her go. But the final straw was a heart patient that accused her of being rude to him And instead of just leaving, she gets into a fucking argument. This poor bastard has a fucking another heart attack.
Yeah, like
he
you're
survived,
right
but
now,
like,
dude.
what the fuck, you know? Like, not the guy to be arguing with, the guy that's a fucking heart patient. So yeah, she makes a huge fucking scene, confronts the patient, causing him to be fucking sedated to avoid a second heart attack. So fucked up. You know, and at the time she lucks out. There's this shortage of nurses, which there seems to always be. Genene would have no problem finding a job. She winds up getting her tubes tied, probably a good call, to avoid having any more kids than the 2 she's already got. Now she lands another good job, Chris, with the University of Texas Medical School in Bexar County Hospital.
Bear.
Now, it is weird. Bexar County is actually spelled Bexar, but it's pronounced Bear. And I know that when we did the Joe Ball episode, I'm pretty sure I kept saying Bexar County. So for you Texans out there, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it, but I know that I was saying it that way. But it is spelled that way.
Bexar.
But it's Bear. So whatever that means. Chris, this job, though, would set the stage for her in a very specialized infant intensive care unit.
Fucking pick you.
So very, very, serious stuff. And, here, though, she gets to play God, and that's fucked up.
Whenever, as you'll see, like any of her patients, she like feels like she is in total control of that, over the doctors, over fucking the family, everything. It's all about her and what she's doing.
Yes.
Like 100%.
Oh, yeah. She's way too involved, coming in when she's not even supposed to be there.
Right.
Shit like that. And Joey, one of the nurses who was training with Genene to deal with sensitive issues in a ward with these critical infants, had major concerns about her because, she would get like crazy upset when somebody died.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple ways to look at that. It's like, you got to look at her, and if she's going to act like that, it's like, okay, well, you got to maintain better if you're going to be in this professional environment. Right. So are they looking at her like that? Or is it, to her, she was like fucking putting on a good show, how much she cared about these infants and how much it bothered her, because she knew that she was really heartless and she was going to end up taking their lives.
Yeah.
So to make herself look like one way so that she wasn't perceived that way,
That's a very good possibility.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, she had issues that she couldn't control her emotions with the critical parts with the infants, and they were worried about her composure. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know which way, but...
Right, that's a good point. So
she always liked to come in and try to play the hero when she did save them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She come in like, oh, shit. Like, after she already drugged these kids. It's like, I did this. Look what I did. Fuck yeah.
That's like
I think Jane Toppin was like that, too. Yeah.
They got that fucking thing where they crave, like, after this horrible event, there's attention that's garnered to them in some
they
form or
saved
another.
this baby.
Yeah, and they love that.
Meanwhile, she's the one that put
him in that fucking
peril.
situation anyway.
Exactly. So Genene is impressing her supervisor. She works super hard. Her willingness to work that busy shift, which was 3 to 11.
The death shift.
Really good. Yeah, that's what they were calling it because of her. She was really good at starting IVs, though, which are tough, I'm sure, with the size that they are. The doctor in charge of that intensive care unit was very concerned about her ability to control her emotions. But he was also encouraging her to go back to school to get her RN. So that's tough. My mother-in-law is a retired RN, and man, that's some tough stuff, man, to get through that school. I mean, that's no joke.
My aunt and my cousin both are.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before. I mean, nothing but, the nurses out there are just fucking amazing, honestly.
Hell yeah.
She was getting too attached to the patients, and she would often stay past her shift, like I was saying, because they thought that they needed her, or she thought that they needed her. The others are telling her to go home. There's another instance where she showed up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Drunkard and shit.
Drunk as fuck.
That's who you want.
Trying to put fucking IVs in. I don't know, Chris, at the Nation, would that be acceptable behavior?
I mean, that's what we do all the time, man.
But trying to put an IV in each other?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay.
Well, like we got like sometimes you
Like
get
McCormick's on the drip?
That's what I'm saying. You put the McCormick's in the drip bag, dude. You gotta
nice.
get it just right, dude. You gotta mainline that shit.
Yeah, that shows some of her fucked up mentality though, because probably some of the reason that she's doing this shit, showing up early, staying late and shit, because she feels like y'all can't do the job right. I need to be here to fucking do this shit. You know? So
yeah, I can see that, but I don't know. Going in there fucking thinking you're sober enough to do IVs, stumbling around.
I mean, fucking Dr. Dunch again. You know, them parallels. That motherfucker
torn pants, all coked out,
lit up, gonna do a surgery like a motherfucker.
Dumping a bunch of parts in and just sewing them up.
Are we done here?
Yeah, if you missed our Dr. Death episode on Christopher Dunch, go check it out. That was a good one. Now, somehow she's allowed to keep her job after this incident. I don't know how. She's also known to tell, as you were saying, Chris, mixed company. She's telling these dirty-ass jokes.
Cuss like a sailor.
Cussing like a sailor. She's getting disciplined for that, but seems to, not fucking get her fired. She's also talking like real loud and negative ways about her other coworkers, not giving a fuck that they hear.
That bitch Sharon over there, you know what?
She can't do a fucking thing today.
Right.
She needs to go the fuck home. I could put an IV in a fly, by the way. Fuck all you.
Shit, fuck that
You
bitch.
guys suck. Look at the bruises on Chris's arm over there. So Genene continues to lie about herself like she did in high school, telling stories about being in a coma, that she shot her brother-in-law in the dick.
Fuck yeah.
I was shot in the dick.
After he beat up her sister. What the fuck? Very fucking bossy over everybody, arguing with the doctors, challenging them constantly. I mean, what a fucking pain in the ass. But Joey, like we've said, I mean, Peter Vronsky points out in the book, Female Serial Killers, How and Why Women Become Monsters. He talks about Jane Toppin and Genene Jones and a lot of these similarities, but also the whole way that they were not liked by their coworkers.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, a little bit earlier, is how to all the patients and everybody, they seem just fine. So you're not getting any fucking complaints coming from there. But behind the scenes, all your fucking coworkers are like, no, this person's fucking kind of despicable, hideous, not as good at their job as they probably think. That's probably the
Talking
consensus.
Shit.
Yeah. But so there's internal fucking complaints coming in, but there's not external. So if you got external where the whole public can see what's going on, then you have to take action in that case, and you're probably going to see the person get fired.
Right.
But this case, like we saw with Dr. Dunch and like they talk about with the churches and shit, this was an internal problem because she's pissing off the people that she works with. So they're like, oh, well, you know what we can do? We can just relocate the problem.
Right.
And that's what ends up happening.
Exactly. That's a good point, man. Very good point. Now, between May and December of 1981, there are 20 mysterious deaths at the infant intensive care unit.
I mean, I'm never bringing a kid there ever.
No,
never ever.
I would not either. Bear County Hospital. But, thankfully, it's a long time ago. Hopefully, they've cleaned up their act down there. These were strange cardiac arrests, or what they called runaway bleeds, which is like an uncontrolled bleeding. Runaway bleed, I think, would be a cool name for a band.
Runaway bleeding. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good name for a tampon.
No.
Maybe not. I don't know.
No one realized it at first, but the common factor was Genene Jones on that death shift, Chris, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
The death shift. They called it that.
Yeah, they straight called it the death shift.
So
fucked up. One of
they
the
made
doctors,
jokes about it like... They're joked about it.
Yeah, that's a fucked up thing
kids
to be
die when old Janine's working. Like no big deal.
Shift,
like, dude, ain't you picking this up, man?
Jesus Christ! Doctor,
you're working with Genene. You're on the death shift.
That's right,
dude.
I'm tired of working the death shift.
Yeah.
So the doctors are even raising issues with her, and she winds up resigning. But coincidentally, the deaths just stop.
Huh? How'd that happen?
Interesting, right? Interesting.
The fuck.
Now, one of the drugs she was using is called heparin, which is used for the treatment of blood clots. But in high doses, especially for an infant, this would result in those runaway bleeds like we were talking about.
Your blood's not clotting.
Bleeding from the eyes, the nose, all their internal organs just bleeding simultaneously. That's fucked up. I couldn't imagine being a parent at the bedside of your baby
and you're watching this happen
going on.
like watching a literal horror movie, basically.
It's like,
right?
What was that? I think the Beijing fucking subway bombings, and they used that. Was it ricin or? I can't remember. Whatever they used, it caused that shit to the
bleeding
people
from
too.
everywhere. Yeah, it's like Ebola. That's how they die with that too. They bleed from everywhere. It's
so fucking horrible.
Another one that she did, drug that she used, was succinylcholine, which is a drug that relaxes muscles during surgery or when a patient needs to be intubated.
Right, it keeps
they also use the drug during lethal injections.
Right,
that's true.
It's one of the drugs they
to
use.
relax the muscles.
Relax the body.
And I said something to Stephanie about it. She was saying how she read something about how there was a shortage of it, so that's why they couldn't do as many lethal injections as they probably wanted to.
Right, because Genene Jones was using it.
Right.
Right. She was buying that shit on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
Succinylcholine drug was one that she was using as well. So this would stop their breathing by shutting down the diaphragm. So a horrible suffocation. I mean, unfucking believable. She's doing this to infants in an intensive care unit. Just off the charts fucked up. So Chris, she quits this job over the accusations and finds another one with the pediatrician in Kerrville, Texas.
Yeah, so like, but like just like fucking Dunch, like she was getting like positive feedback to these new places from the old places.
Yeah, recommendations.
Good recommendations.
Yeah.
And shit. So like, she's just able to walk in there and do what she wants and able to keep doing what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean,
and
she's
like,
not going to stop.
And like a lot of her records got like thrown away and shit too, because just like Dunch, the hospitals didn't want them to fucking know.
They don't want that liability.
Yeah, they don't want the liability like that.
That's fucked up.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and Joey, you pointed out too the commonality with these cases we've been talking about, but also with the priests, because they do the same thing.
Right, the church
doesn't
want
down the road, you know. So Joey, she is soon suspected in the death of 6 pediatric patients, and the doctor she works for finds a missing bottle of succinylcholine with some puncture marks in it.
Well, what happened in this case, I got a couple things to say about this, actually. With the succinylcholine, fucking Genene comes to this fucking, to the lady in the first place, and she was like, remember that missing bottle of succinylchlorine I told you about before? Right. Well, I got another one to replace it. So now we have 2. And she's sitting there like, well, I don't ever remember you telling me about a missing bottle.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, but she also had never prescribed it.
Right. And she's like, but it's also kind of ironic that you say this on the exact same time that I'm questioned by these authorities about possible succinylchlorine.
Oh, wow.
So she ends up looking in the into the fridge and finding both the bottles that they were talking about. And then she notices that one of the bottles of succinylchlorine has 2 fucking tiny needle marks in it.
Right.
And whenever they ended up testing that, 80% of it was water.
Yeah, it was like 80%.
So obviously the other part had been used. Now, what the other thing I was going to say about this was classic, because I'm like researching this case last night, and since my girlfriend's in healthcare, I fucking sent her a screenshot of the bottle of succinylchlorine. Yeah. I was like, well, you know about this product, because this is what the killer used in the episode that we're doing,
Right.
We're having that conversation, whatever. So that's like the first time I consciously know that word. I probably heard it before, but like consciously now I know this word. After I watched that fucking episode, as I watched the Forensic Files too, because it was pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch a movie, and I end up picking out Exorcist 3 because fucking I'm doing Horror Flicks 3. So I was like trying to get some samples.
Nice, that's a good one.
Lo and behold, I'm watching this movie, and they start talking about one of the little kids that had died in the movie. That's like the major basis of it. That he had died with succinylchlorine in his fucking system.
Oh, that's fucking.
And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I just heard this word. Now I hear it again.
Crazy as shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Succinylcholine, definitely not a word you'd hear all the time.
No. But like we said, obviously Genene Jones, she had used this for these fucking children.
Right.
And now they know.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, the doctor never prescribed it, but yet why is there needle marks in the bottle? So Jones is fired.
I don't know. I'm just going to say, too, because I don't know if we talk about it in a little bit, but that doctor right there, she was so badass because after all this shit broke out, most of the time a practice will go under because that's like
she did go
the
under.
Bad rap. But she fucking held her
Stayed
ground.
in town in that same spot.
Yeah, and she was like, because I didn't do anything wrong.
I hired this person.
Right, and she tried to stick it out. So, yeah, I thought that was
good for her.
She rebuilt her shit
cool.
up.
That is cool. I'm glad she was able to do that. So she gets fired from that job. 1983, a special grand jury is convened in San Antonio to investigate 47 suspicious deaths of children in 4 years at the Bexar County Hospital. Another similar jury was going on in Kerr County over 8 suspicious deaths involving children at the new place she was at. Jones is 32 at the time and one of 3 special hospital employees that were brought before the grand jury to testify. At the same time, 2 of the nurses, including Jones, were being sued by the parents of one of the victims in like a civil suit.
Right.
So she's getting hit from all directions. She is indicted in 1983 on 2 counts of murder in Kerr County, facing a 99-year sentence. Jones was held on a $225,000 bond.
99 years.
Yeah.
That's deeper
rough.
than dead right there.
That is deeper than dead for sure, yes.
Plus, she got the other 60 for the other kid. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, it was Rolando Santos.
Yeah, that's who it was, yeah.
In 85, she gets 99 years for the murder of Chelsea McClellan with the succinylcholine. And then later, she's also sentenced to 60 years that runs concurrent to for a sentence of murder with Rolando Santos with heparin. So 2 different drugs, 2 different murders. Now, Chris, I read that in 2016, she's being held at the Lane Murray unit in Gatesville and was up for release, but she winds up getting fucking dissed. I mean,
because she was like all ready to fucking get out because
cocky
people convicted within, what was it, 1971 and 1980, whatever, had an automatic release date, like you said, due to overcrowding and shit.
Yeah.
So she was one of them.
Yeah, she got really lucky.
So she's like, fuck yeah, I'm getting out. Starts like, I'm getting out. You can't stop me. And they're like, the lawyer comes in and is like, we got a problem. The state's coming at you with some other fucking charges. You're going to have to be here a little bit longer.
That's right.
So guess what? She just sat there like, fuck you, and got into a fight.
Yeah, she flipped out. Now, I know that we've been talking about Tex not being able to come on here, and I did ask him, is there anything he wanted to add? Because he knows a lot about this case. And he shared this story. He said, when she was getting ready to get out, or she thought she was, total pain in the ass, raising hell, real cocky. This is in 2018. And he said that when she was told, like you just said about that, she completely flips out somehow, and I don't know how, got a hold of a razor blade and was cutting at her arms. And the guard that was in there with her fucking blasted her with fucking pepper spray in the face.
Crazy, dude.
Like emptied the fucking can on her, and she wouldn't stop. I mean, like, it was crazy, and just flipped the fuck out, fired her lawyer. And then eventually she pleads guilty to that other charge. And so, yeah, she ain't going anywhere.
Hell yeah.
She ends up in essence with a life sentence.
This is crazy. Because I can't remember what case we were just talking about, but it was one of these recent ones too. This also fell under the fact that at this time that she did this, it was not a capital murder to kill a child.
Isn't that weird?
Like, so she should have got fucking death penalty.
Yeah, she should have
for killing a kid. And nowadays, she probably would have got that.
Especially in Texas.
I can't remember what that other one was we were talking about, but it was the same thing. It was like, no, it's not a capital.
Oh, it was Huntsman.
It was Megan Huntsman
in Utah. So,
which was even more recent. So this is all something new that these states have started flipping into.
That is really,
but
really
it seems
odd.
like fucking common sense shit.
You would think. I mean, my God. She's going to be eligible for parole when she's a ripe old 87 years old. So she ain't going anywhere. She's probably going to die in prison, which is a good thing. She's been the subject of several documentaries. And I also read that she was the inspiration for Annie Wilkes.
Yeah, dude, I saw that too.
In Stephen King's book Misery. So that's pretty cool. Joey, one of the great ones. Interesting to find, though, how writers use true crime for their ideas for fiction. And I mean, I do it, and a lot of writers do it. We were talking about that before the show.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, like they say, fact is stranger than fiction usually.
Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, you could go on and on about it, but, you know, Psycho was from, of course, Ed Gein's story. Robert Bloch read it and thought, wow, that's cool. And the exorcism that inspired The Exorcist, which is interesting. There's lots of cases like that. You know, it's kind of cool. Stephen King with this one, you know. I also read
cocaine.
Yes.
Now, I mentioned that Peter Vronsky book. Love Peter Vronsky's stuff. Female Serial Killers. I have not read much of it. And on a hunch, I looked up Genene Jones in there. I'm so glad I did because there's a full section on it.
Hell yeah.
Very, very cool. But he talks about this story in 1982. This Army Sergeant First Class, Gabriel Garcia, was a crew chief on a medevac flight where Genene Jones was the nurse accompanying a pediatric patient. Now, he would say that he found it odd because she's using a stethoscope
and a helicopter
in a loud-ass fucking helicopter. There's no fucking way she could hear it, you know? So he knows it's bullshit. And then she's doing other things with the patient that he could tell, like, just didn't seem right if she was legitimately trying to save this kid. So he says something to her, and she just fucking snapped on him and told him basically to go fuck off. So that's crazy. I mean, that this guy picked up on something ain't right with that. And so very, very interesting.
Hell yeah.
Of course, later he hears about her in the trial, and he knew that his suspicions were right. So anything to add to this one, guys?
No.
Something I saw on a newscast from San Antonio I was watching, what they were talking about whenever you were saying about how she would get emotional about the child whenever they die or something like that.
Right.
But there was one instance where they were like in the middle of that situation and the fucking parents were there. She took the fucking dead baby from the parents and ran down the hallway with it.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And they just chalked it up to her just being like super emotional. But fact is, she was just fucking crazy.
Dude,
off her rocker, man.
You see that story like when that Chelsea McLean died? And
they were taking her in the ambulance.
Yeah, they were taking her in the ambulance. But the doctor was following behind and shit. Yeah. She's the only one with him in the ambulance and everything.
And she starts going into cardiac arrest, so they fucking stop the ambulance. Right. Because the doctor's following them.
Which is weird, dude. Why would the doctor be in the ambulance? But the doctor ends up getting in the ambulance and shit with them, and they take off. And she's like yelling at the doctor and shit too, whatever.
That's fucked.
But then after she died or whatever, like Chelsea's mom went to the graveyard, and Genene was there, like crying or whatever. And her mom asked her what she was doing there. She said she just looked at her and just turned around and left.
That's crazy.
And then shit would come up missing from the gravesite like all the time and shit. It was really weird.
That is really fucking creepy, man. Well, I did my research for this one by watching a couple good documentaries I found on YouTube. I also got a lot of information on Murderpedia. Definitely love that website. Also, I mentioned the book Female Serial Killers, How and Why Women Become Monsters by Peter Vronsky. And also from talking to our buddy Tex, I was able to text Tex over the weekend as he's been busy with that manhunt.
Tex in Texas?
That's right. That's right. And so he was very informative and all that. So definitely wish you were here with us, Tex. There's stuff out there on her if you want to learn more. So if you're interested in the story, there's some things out there. It's not that long ago that it happened. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a bonus episode. It's going to be Memorial Day weekend leading up to it. So, give ourselves a little bit of a break, do an easy one. And Chris, after doing some fucking horrible mothers and all these bad females and babies dying and all that sort of shit. We're going to do
something a little fun.
A little fun, exactly. Old Dugout Dick. It's a very interesting story about a hermit that builds a home in the side of a mountain and attracted other like-minded people to live off the grid with him.
And showed him his dick.
Apparently. Showed somebody his
He
dick.
dug out some of them bitches.
So it's an interesting story. I stumbled on it on YouTube. It's good stuff. You could see video of him playing his banjo and singing, and it's kind of cool. Old Dugout Dick. I think it was in Idaho where he was, but we'll do that one. That'll be a bonus. So we're just going to do it on that story. So it'll be a shorter episode, but it'll be fun. And we're going to do some fake commercials. We always love
new
that.
Commercials are great.
So we'll use the downtime for that. So you get a little of that action coming up. So it's going to be a good one. A little palate cleanse after just an absolute devastating month. I felt the same way last May. It was cool to do it. But at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of these baby killing stories. It's fucked up.
All right.
Joey, any good page a day for us?
I was telling you guys last week, I got one page a day story, and then I have one little bonus fucking story from a fucking listener of ours.
Okay.
So I'm going to get into the page a day, and if you're a fucking regular listener, you know I was talking about last week, and this one's about the Anthill Kids cult.
Yeah, this is a fucked up
Yeah,
one.
this is a good story. Obviously one that's fucking Murder Metal Mayhem worthy. We'll do that at some point. But it was cool to see fucking Page a Day's take on it. And like I said, it fucking basically covered a week. So anyway, we'll get into this. This is the Anthill Kids cult as told by Murder Metal Mayhem through the Page a Day fucking pages. So we're going to talk about this guy, Rock the Ralt. He was born Catholic and he was converted to Seventh-day Adventist in his youth. In 1977, at age 30, Thuralt decided to start a religious movement of his own. Using the sheer force of his charisma, he began recruiting people from the Seventh-day Adventist community in Ste. Marie, Quebec, Canada, enticing a group of about 25 adults to leave their jobs and homes and help him form a commune where they could listen to his motivational speeches and live free of sin and unity and equality. So, you know, this is late 70s. This is what people are looking for.
Oh, yeah, big time cult time.
And we've already talked about before the Seventh-day Adventists. Like, that's some fucking hardcore shit. They got some crazy beliefs.
The apocalyptic shit.
You're right. So he's already pulling in people that are fucking have some pretty fucking strong beliefs kind of way out. Anyway, so his first order of business in establishing the free living environment he promised to his followers, he forbade them from contact with their families or any members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So basically all the people that they had fucking talked to up to that point, you can't fucking talk to them no more. So after cutting his followers off from the outside world, Thuralt announced that God told him the world was going to end on February 17th, 1979.
Yeah, my birthday, baby.
Right?
Nice.
And he moved the commune to St. Jogues, I think that's how you say that, in the remote Gaspé Peninsula, and that's where he promised his followers that they would be saved. Now, once they're there, Thuralt sat back, drank all day, and watched his followers build their commune. And he said it was like ants building an anthill, and that's why he dubbed the group the Anthill Kids.
Oh, okay.
In February 17th, 1979 rolls around, nothing happened. The world did not end. So, of course, some of the Anthill Kids, they begin to question Thuralt's authority, and he chastises them. And he was like, it's a simple miscalculation. Time on Earth and in God's realm were not parallel.
Of course it's
right,
not.
right. So then he renames a ton of his followers with biblical names, choosing Moise or Moses for himself, and then he marries 9 of the women, fathering more than 20 children with them and tying them to him in the cult. So now he's fucking building his shit up even bigger. Got fucking children involved, much like, you know, the Waco deal.
Right?
Yep.
So it wasn't all fucking unity, elegant, and liberty under Thuralt's reign. As his drinking worsened, he became more and more controlling, forbidding members from speaking to one another when he wasn't present. He said that they couldn't have sex without his permission, and he made all the women that he hadn't already married his concubines. So all of this was nothing compared to the abuse and murder that was to come, though, in the Anthill gang. So the Anthill kids, they sold baked goods in town. That's what they did, and Thuralt kept all the proceeds.
Yeah, right.
He controlled the cash flow through the group and subsequently how much food they were even given on a daily basis. If members didn't sell enough, he would beat them with a hammer. When one woman confided to her husband that she wanted to leave the cult after Thuralt punched her for taking an extra pancake at breakfast, Thuralt forced the husband to cut off the woman's toe. So he ended up cutting his wife's toe off.
Dude, yeah.
This is a fucked up one.
Yeah,
I
he
know,
would
for
often
sure.
make cult members harm one another and sometimes themselves, in addition to the cruelty that he inflicted on them. He retained enough of his charismatic personality to convince his underfed and terrified flock that the physical and sexual abuse that he doled out to adults and children alike was meant to purify them of their sins so they would be strong enough to survive the inevitable doomsday that was coming.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy.
Dude,
he also claimed that he was a healer, and partial to medical textbooks, he started performing surgeries on sick members. He would inject ethanol into their stomachs, and he would perform circumcisions. And it was during one of these surgeries that he would finally get his first arrest and go to prison. In March of 1981, cult member Guy Veer, he brutally beat to death. Well, not yet. He brutally beat a 2-year-old child for crying. Thuralt tried to operate on the boy, and then the boy ended up dying. Thuralt pinned the boy's death entirely on Veer, and as punishment, he castrated Veer. So in September 1982, Thuralt pleads guilty to criminal negligence for castrating Veer and was sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Jesus Christ.
Veer and 7 other cult members were charged with criminal negligence in the death of the 2-year-old boy. So Thuralt, he's released in 1984, moves his whole commune, who basically at that time is just his wives and his kids. Right. Everybody else is pretty much split. But they go to Burnt River, Ontario, Canada. A few months later, social workers begin monitoring the commune, and they're concerned about the kids. I mean, there's a fucking bunch of kids, you know.
Yeah.
So despite the death of an infant in January 85, which was attributed to crib death, others say that
like the same as SIDS, basically.
Right, but there were people that were there that said that they thought that the mother left the baby out there to fucking freeze to death outside because she took that over Thuralt's abuse that he would give to the kid.
Oh, jeez.
Which is just sad as fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking
so, but they didn't raid the commune until December. So they find 14 children between the age of 5 months to 16 years. They're rescued, and they reported their fucking abuse to the fucking, authorities then, and they just heard all the fucking horror stories. Between 86 and 88, Thuralt's followers gave birth to 9 more of his children, all of whom were taken by social services within days of their birth.
My God.
So he's just fucking impregnating them nonstop, and they're fucking just, nope, you can't have these fucking kids. His violent tendencies and grandiose delusions of medical knowledge, they continued to escalate. In September 88, Thuralt operated on Solange Ballard, an anthill kid who complained of a stomach ache. He ripped out a piece of her intestines and mutilated her body before having this other broad, Gabrielle Lavallee. She crudely stitched her up with a needle and thread. So Ballard dies the next day, and over the next 4 weeks, Thuralt disinterred her twice, further mutilating her body in his attempts to resurrect her.
Jesus
and
Christ.
her remains were ultimately cremated after that. Lavallee herself, she was subject to harsh treatment at the commune, beatings, burns, tooth extractions. In the summer of 1989, Thuralt cut off her arm after Lavallee attempted to escape the commune, and then he cauterized it with a hot iron a couple weeks later.
Jesus.
So many members fled after this incident, and Lavallee was eventually able to escape and report to police what happened to her. Meanwhile, police received a tip about Ballard's murder and searched the commune. They uncovered her remains, and knowing he was cornered, Thuralt fucking took off, and he fucking went on the lam. Wow. So after a 6-week search, Thuralt's taken into custody, charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of unlawfully causing bodily harm against Lavallee, and he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Still no murder charges or anything
no
like that.
murder charge? Jesus
In
Christ.
1993, Thuralt pleaded guilty to the second-degree murder of Ballard and was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole until 2000. And then in 2002, he was denied parole because he was considered too high risk to reoffend, and then he never applied for parole again. In 2011, Thrall's cellmate, Matthew Gerard McDonald, he stabbed Thrall in the neck, killing him, then walked to the guard station, handed them the shiv, and told them, "That piece of shit is down on the range. Here's the knife. I sliced him up." McDonald was already serving a life sentence for a previous murder charge, so he didn't give a fuck.
Good
Got
for
second
him.
degree and killed him. So that's the story of the Anthill Kids cult. Like
brutal,
I said, we'll
man.
probably do that one sometime.
Oh, I'm sure we will. That's definitely a disturbing one to do for sure.
And like I said, I got one little quick fucking bonus one.
Oh yeah,
This is pretty classic. So we have a listener, Colton Howell, and he's my buddy down in fucking Effingham.
okay.
He loves our show and shit, but he hit me up.
Awesome.
And he told me about this one, so I thought I'd share it. This is our interaction with our listeners.
Yeah,
So if
we'd
y'all
love to hear
got some
from
shit, tell
listeners,
us
man.
about it.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Hey man, have you ever heard of Spade Cooley?
What?
Do you know Spade Cooley?"
Yeah.
No, I don't know this dude either.
Never heard of it. No.
So he was like, and there's a lot more than what I'm going to tell you because I did kind of look into it and it was like, holy fuck. But anyway, this is the rundown. He was like, he was a really popular country and Western singer in the 50s. In 1961, he brutally beat his wife to death in front of their 14-year-old daughter. He pulled out a big clump of her hair, burned her nipple black with cigarettes, and raped her with a broom handle. She finally died after he stomped on her stomach 3 times with his boots on. He served 8 years and was pardoned by Ronald Reagan because of powerful friends. He had a heart attack backstage at his last gig, but died a millionaire.
God damn.
Holy
That's
fuck.
fucking
Fucking, yeah, I know. So I was like, no, I never heard that one. That's fucking cool. So I'd share it on the fucking
Yeah, that's
podcast.
interesting. And, it comes to mind another listener, Justin from
Morris.
Lexington,
Yep.
Illinois. Justin Morris, he said that one of his people on his truck route saw his shirt, and it was a Murder Metal Mayhem shirt, but the guy thought it was a Tiger King shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, Tiger King? And he's like, yeah, he thought Chris, the cowboy hat, looked like Tiger King. So, Chris,
Nice.
if you ever, need a job, I mean, that
I'm
might
good.
be,
I got one.
you could be the Tiger King in the nation there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Chris and the Big Cat. So I thought that was funny. All right. So I think we have done our fair share of murder tonight. I think it's time to crank some fucking metal. And Joey, what the fuck we going to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. All right, the great metal motherfucker.
Hell yeah. CK.
Always good to see CCK there in the background
yeah.
behind you, Joey, in the pictures.
Always will live on.
And we're eating Pop-Tarts, which is a tradition we have here at Horns High. We have our listeners sending us Pop-Tarts, but they need to get up on that, Joey. They're not sending them in. So everybody,
seen
if
a
you're
shipment.
listening, send us some Pop-Tarts to Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois, 61745. All right. Tonight, Joey, you got the horns. Chris,
Oh, yeah,
did you
here you go,
hand them
homie.
to Joey?
Pass them fucking things.
Pass the horns. 3 goat horns we have. Now, Joey, you got the horns, so
I
you
got
get to
'em
pick
now.
who we're going to cover, and you've got a good one for us tonight.
Yeah, and all of our listeners will already know fucking what's up because I've been talking about it. But I'm doing the band Krotchripper. Now, this is a band that's from up here.
Family-friendly kind of band.
Yeah,
I mean,
but truly they
you ever
are.
seen somebody give birth? Shit.
That's true.
But so yeah, this is kind of friends of mine, or really friends of mine. So it's cool to do it like that to fucking
Yeah.
put them out there. But anyway, so the band Krotchripper from Illinois, they were formed in 2009 in Rock Island in the Quad Cities. That's on the upper west side of fucking Illinois. If you guys are fucking looking, right on the fucking border with Iowa. So the band started with Alex Buttright, Butt Ride is the original guy from Krotchripper. He was doing music before that, and then, you know, decided he wanted to do something a little heavier, and that's whenever he hooked up with Eric Latroll, who became the vocalist of Krotchripper. He had known Eric since they was kids, so that's fucking cool they had that connection. In 2010, so a year after they decided to start this project, they released a split with Mass Murder Messiah on Necrotic Records. Now, Mass Murder Messiah is also some other buddies. They're from up in Wisconsin. Badass band. Fucking Josh Bodie's in that band, who became the vocalist for Sexual Atrocities.
Fuck yeah.
On that album, they had their other homie, Carl. He did bass on that, but that was the only recording that he ever did bass, or that was the only recording that he was on with Krotchripper. So after that, they put out a few demos, and then they finally came out with their first full-length album in 2015, which was titled Stalactite Cunt Shrine.
Yeah.
It's such a badass album. It's so fucking good.
We got the banner hanging on the wall in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
The artist on both that album and the new one actually was Brad Moore. Brad Moore is an amazing artist. So that's cool that fucking they were able to keep him on doing their shit. This one came out, the Stalactite Cunt Shrine came out on Severed Records. So step up. Necrotic's really good out of St. Louis. Severed's a little bit bigger in the game. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was also at this time that fucking, maybe a little bit. No, it was before this. I'm lying. Probably back in 2010. That's whenever I first remember meeting those guys. And I was at fucking CIM. And I remember Alex, he was out there fucking hanging out on one of the fucking stone steps or whatever outside the Canopy Club.
Yeah.
And fucking, he was like, Joey. And he fucking called me over and he was like, Alex from fucking Krotchripper. I was like, oh, hell yeah. So anyway, fucking from that point on, like, we all became really good friends. After they put out Stalactite Cunt Shrine, like, we started doing a few shows together and shit. I'd go out there to the Quad Cities. It was fucking awesome. That's where I first fucking watched the Serbian film. This is me and Clay, Cemetery Rapist and Goremonger went out to Quad Cities, played a show with Krotchripper.
Nice.
Fucking, we went back, hung out with them, like, got all fucked up. They played a Serbian film. We're like, what the fuck? So that was awesome. But we were also started doing shows at the Disaster House in Rockford. Chris,
D-House, fucking, that place, man.
That was up in Rockford, and it was like a punk rock fucking place. Like, pretty fucking wild, but pretty cool to do fucking brutal shows.
Oh, yeah.
So in 2016, they were on a 3-way release that I put out on Fuck the Ass Records, and it was a 3-way with Krotchripper, Brake Fluid Injection, and PTPP, and it was titled Fuck What You Heard.
Fuck what you heard.
Fuck what you heard. They had picked up a guy named Alec Goddard at that time, and or Alec Goddard. I'm not sure.
I was going to say, is everybody in this band Alex?
But it's Alec.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he started playing bass with them on this. And I think that was the only thing that he did. But at that time, after they released that too, Alex also started doing his own shows in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
And he started doing Trick or Troll. Which
Trick or Troll is dope.
Trick or Troll was a fucking great time. Like fucking, Halloween, obviously, and dress up, just a bunch of metal.
Right.
There was a great Mayhem story that came out of that with Chris, who got escorted back to the club by the police
cops,
while he's bleeding with a bunch of fucking wax in his car and beer and shit. Anyway, so Trick or Troll, that was a good time, fucking, and that was like Alex's contribution. It was cool at the time. Like there was a few of us. Our buddy Fat Sean was up in fucking Belvedere doing Pornfields, and I was doing the Heart of Illinois shows, and we were doing what we could to get shit going, and Greg and Murder Complex doing bloodshed. Yeah. I mean, it was just a cool time at that time. So 2017 comes around. Krotchripper did a split with Plague Bearer, and it was called Feast Upon the Lamb. That was fucking badass.
Yeah, that's what it did.
They did something on that split that I always wanted to do on a split, and I never did, and I was fucking jealous of them, where instead of like you have, okay, this band songs, then you have that band songs, they did one of each, and they fucking ping-ponged them off each other. So it's like Krotchripper, Plague Bearer, Krotchripper, Plague Bearer. So I was like, that's a pretty cool idea.
That's cool.
And I had always wanted to do that, but I never got around to it. so fuck them.
That's cool.
In 2018, Krotchripper released an EP, and it was called "Don't Anger the Doom God." That was a fucking badass fucking album.
That's stomp, dude.
Yeah, and fucking also, like I said, they played HOI, they played Heart of Illinois, they played the very first one. They played 5 in a row. So out of the 6 Heart of Illinois I put on, they played the first 5. So that's cool. Fucking awesome coming down from the Quad Cities to do that.
Yeah.
So now 2022, this is 7 years after the first full-length Stalactite Sunshine came out. This year, right now, and recently, they just released their second full length.
Yeah.
Trolls vs. Lizards. I mean, it's a fucking great album.
Dude.
Again, artwork by Brad Moore. We got the poster up here.
Yeah, the poster, the artwork's incredible.
And, you know, Krotchripper is just a band that's like, they're trolls. And they fucking been through some shit. They go through some shit. And you never know, like, if they're going to be fucking present or coherent or what they're going to do. But, you know, since 2009, they've been a name and a band in the scene.
That's cool, man.
And if that ends up fucking, you know, dissipating and they do other shit, or if they don't, either way, I think Krotchripper's been a fucking pretty badass ride up to this point. So
hell yeah, dude. Very cool. Excellent. Well, we're going to play a little piece of that interview you did with Alex.
Hell yeah.
About a 5-minute clip of it. So here, check this out.
Doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hell yeah. Fucking Murder Metal Mayhem listeners, once again coming at you with a new fucking interview. This time I'm sitting down with the homie Alex McFarland from various bands, most noticeably Krotchripper in this area probably. But so how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be talking to you and everyone that listens. It's really cool.
Yeah, man. Obviously, in this interview, I'm going to talk Krotchripper and obviously some of your other projects that you've done, you know, in more recent years. But whenever you started, were you doing a band, like a musical band, before Krotchripper?
Many of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's what's
they
up.
weren't brutal metal or anything, but I played in various like small jazz combos and like high school rock bands where, you know, even in elementary school we were banging on the drums and trying to play guitar and saxophone and piano to like 2 or 3 of us. We'd always be jamming forever, dude.
Yeah.
It was the thing to do, man. I love music, so.
No, that's awesome. Since I met you, basically, you've been doing Krotchripper, so like that's how I knew initially. So yeah, I never really knew, but of course, obviously I knew you did other instruments and stuff. Did the saxophone on the new Goremonger album for me.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like that track. Thanks for letting me do that.
Yeah, man. So, alright, so since you was doing music before that, how did Krotchripper come about?
It's a long story. You got a little bit of time?
Sure.
Alright. So I was working at Best Buy. I was selling cameras. And my now good buddy Andrew, he's selling printers. And so we're both like selling shit. And I come in there on my day off to get that employee discount, like top shelf metal record from Best Buy, you know. And I came in with a Nile shirt on, and he was like, "Do you like that? Like, you like this shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
No, I just wear the shirt. It's cool.
Yeah. So I was listening to a bunch of like Children of Bodom, Nile. There was a band that was a Best Buy like exclusive. No, it wasn't Best Buy exclusive, but it felt like it because I never see it anywhere else. But it's pretty mainstream. A band called Torchbearer.
Okay.
But anyways, so I was into like not the underground. I didn't even know the underground fucking existed. Like Nile was like the heaviest thing I'd ever heard at the time. So he's like, "Yo, you know, let's hang out. You know, drink some beers, do some other things, and listen to fucking metal and play video games." I was like, "Word, yeah, that sounds cool." So I go out to his house and he's like playing the Internal Suffering and fucking Lividity and you know, just Infernal Revulsion and shit like that, Immortal Suffering, and I'm just like, Abhorrence. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was like on crack at that point after that, dude, because it was the coolest fucking evil, brutal shit I didn't even know existed that I fell in love with. So he got me turned into collecting CDs and shit. So I was then I started trying to make metal, and I was like playing it for him, and he's like, "You programmed the bass drum too fast. It's not it's unnatural." I was like, "Yeah,
you can't be thundering that hard with a fucking bass, bro."
Yeah. But so then I made that Veins of Ice CD in like 2008, and I made 10 handmade copies where I drew the cover and I scanned it in the computer and printed, and then cut them into the shape of the CD. So I made 10 of them, and I have 2, and there's a couple at a local record store in Carbondale, Illinois. They're probably still there.
Yeah.
And a couple of the homies, and then I was moving from Carbondale to back home to the Quad Cities, and my boy Eric, who's the vocalist of Krotchripper, when we were kids, we used to hang out and play music all the time, and he would always make the craziest sounds, like even just like reactions. He'd just be like all the time, and I'm like, Eric, you got this talent to make the noises, bro. Like I was playing him when I was doing with Veins of Ice. I was like, you want to do something a little heavier, and so I started showing him some of the bands that I was getting into, like Lust of Decay and shit like that, and he was just as floored as I was, and we fell in love with the music, so we started jamming and making the Mass Murder Messiah split, which was dope.
That's awesome, man. Very, very cool. And Alex, a super good dude.
Yes.
And so that was a great segment there on those guys. And you'll be able to hear the full interview that Joey did with Alex tomorrow after this episode comes out. On Friday will be May. I'm losing my track of days.
Yeah, I can't fucking remember what the hell today is.
I think it'd be the 27th. So Friday, the day after this one comes out, the full interview you did with Alex from Krotchripper will be out there. All right, Chris, what's your Lost Classic today?
I'm going to 1994 to the self-titled demo by Hemdale from Columbus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking just like 13 tracks of just brutalness, dude. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, 1994, fucking Hemdale. Seen them at fucking goddamn Lafayette Club that one year. Fucking, we were like 16, fucking whatever.
Right.
But yeah, dude. That's some old school heavy shit right there. Grindcore, fucking gore. Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice. Okay, very cool. What about what have you been listening to, Joey, lately? What about you, man?
Actually,
did you tear up your list?
I did. I tore up my list. But what I've been listening to is today I was playing that Esophageal, fucking Craving Delusions, brutal death metal, fucking super badass. Something else I've been listening to is this band called Massacred, and they got this new album out 2022 called Human Extermination. It's a really good fucking album. Death metal elements, a little bit of thrash, a little bit of brutal death metal, but I was fucking sharing it because I was like, oh hell yeah, this shit's fucking hard driving, and I didn't realize it, but fucking Craig from CDN Records, he's like, oh yeah, I'm releasing that album here in a couple months. I was like, dude, that's fucking cool as shit. So I was jamming that. In the car right now, I got what I would consider one of the top 5 heaviest albums of all time, and that's Devourment, Molesting the Decapitated, fucking Texas death metal, like brutal as it fucking gets. And then the last thing I was going to talk about is my buddy Braxton, my buddy Vaughn, and then they got a little project they're doing called Between the Killings that's coming out on Comatose Records.
Yeah.
And I got the fucking Reflection of Murder, which is the first EP. I think they're going to do 4 EPs altogether or whatnot. But I did a review on that. I haven't fucking typed it up and sent it in yet, but it's done. And fucking
because you got to see or listen to the whole
right
EP. Yeah,
and it doesn't come out until July. But Between the Killings from fucking basically Indiana, like it's fucking really, really fucking good shit. 6 tracks. Like I said, fucking keep an eye peeled because by the time this airs, the review will probably be right around the corner too.
Awesome, very cool. Chris, what about you, man?
Just randomness, man.
Just randomness?
Yep.
That's cool.
Just randomness.
I was listening to something on YouTube Music, and then it suggests, something else, and I'd never heard of this band called Excessum. Very, very cool. I think they're from Mobile, Alabama, but death metal. Really dig those guys. I'm just starting to listen to them, so I'm not real familiar with what they do, but what I did listen to, I liked, so it's good shit. Also still on my Sabbath kick. Was doing some Dio era Sabbath, some Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell and shit. Live Evil, the live one is really great. And then also today I was jamming some Dying Fetus because I picked this shirt and I'm like, you know what? That sounds good.
Fuck yeah, it does.
So I jammed some of that. All right, we've been talking about this bands. If you're in a band and you want us to check your stuff out, get a hold of us either through our Facebook page or email me would be better at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com. There's no guarantee we're going to play it or do a review, but if we like it, we might. And we'll get a hold of you. Maybe we'll do an interview with you. So that would be awesome. So send it in. That's the only way to know. And if you want to go old school and send it in with a box of Pop-Tarts, you can do that.
Right, exactly.
Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois, 61745. Throw a sticker in there, too, if you got some, because we'll put it on the table or now the door.
Hell yeah, we got
because the table's almost full. Not much real estate left on this table.
No, not at all.
But it looks cool.
Hell yeah.
And so that's always good. Throw a sticker in there if you want. All right. I'm going to have the horns next time. Now, I'm going to change it up. I have in the notes something different. I decided after Chris forged the way with doing a musician, I thought, that would be kind of cool to do one myself. So
Right.
I'm going to do probably my biggest influence playing bass, Geezer Butler,
yeah.
Black
There you go,
Sabbath. He's done some other things too, of course, namely Sabbath, but I'm going to talk about his influence on me as a bassist. Also, he wrote the lyrics for the most part of all of the Sabbath stuff and some really good lyrics at that. So definitely going to do that one. Unfortunately, I don't think I can line up an interview with him.
What? I bet you can get that in.
That would be interesting to try, but yeah, that would be an honor to talk to Geezer Butler. So that'll be cool, and that's a couple weeks away though because we got these bonuses coming up.
Right.
So next week there won't be a metal segment, and then the week after that we're doing busting out the Manson family episode we did for our Patreon listeners. That'll be the week after next.
Yeah, so those
So
of
you
you
get to
haven't
hear
heard
that.
that, then you go.
So if you are not a Patreon member in that 666 club, you should be, but if you're not, you haven't heard it yet. The Patreon subscribers, they know all about it. And we did that a few months ago, and that was a good one. So Patreon, of course, only $3. So we link to that in the episode description if you want to join. We appreciate everybody that does because that helps us pay the bills over here.
Let me give a little fucking info on a couple of fests coming up.
Yeah, please.
Being in metal segment right now, we got the Tampa Death Fest that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
And that's, the band Blasphemation that's been fucking sponsoring the fucking podcast all month.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got this fucking Tampa Death Fest and some of the bands that's playing on that. Animals Killing People, which is just fucking awesome band. They're headlining, and then Flesh Hoarder out of Texas.
Flesh Hoarder, dude.
They got fucking Chemicals coming out there, also from Texas. Thrash, we've seen them fucking plenty of times.
A couple times, yeah.
Fucking Morbid Saints playing, Blistering Defilement. Them fucking dudes are sick. Cute and Cuddly Kittens, Vilus Breed. Rotted Remains, Carry On Curse, just a lot of fucking really good bands playing that. So fucking that's coming up in September. Fucking Tampa also coming up in September and fucking closer to our neck of the woods.
Oh yeah,
Full Terror Assault, and they fucking just dropped their third wave of announcements. And
wow.
I'm just going to name off some of the biggies and fucking Pig Destroyer, the big one, Suicidal Tendencies. Like, holy fuck.
That's a good one.
Municipal Waste, Ghoul, Angelos Apatrida, which is fucking friends of the fucking podcast.
Yeah. From Spain.
great.
First time in the U.S.
First time in
man.
the U.S.,
So
yep.
dig those guys.
Fucking
Creep
meet
and
those
Death
guys,
from
dude. This would be
Texas.
great.
Fucking them dudes are sick. Skinless is playing again. Acid Witch, No Moss, Putrid Pile, fucking Sexual Atrocities, and then fucking I got plugged myself, but Goremonger.
Hell yeah, dude.
Playing for the second time, fucking Full Terror this
Awesome.
year.
Do you know when
yeah,
you're playing yet?
Not sure when, but we will find out.
Awesome. Probably right before Suicidal goes on.
I bet that's probably the truth, but yeah.
That would be awesome. That'd be the spot.
I would be
right?
like, oh, fuck, here we go.
That'd be the
shit.
spot. Yeah, that's like the time when Low 12 played with Misery Index and Cannibal Corpse. It's
Yeah.
like, it's cool to play a show like that, but when you know what's going to come up after you, you're like, man, I better bring it to fuck tonight. Because,
real.
man, Wow, that new Misery Index, the drums are straight up ridiculous, man. Adam Jarvis is so fucking good.
Amazing.
Great album. But yeah, that's cool, man. Full Terror Assault coming up the first weekend in, was it the 1st or 2nd?
September. It's the 7th through the 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, 7th through the 10th. So
7th
we'll be talking about it, I'm sure. But yeah, that was cool. They released another wave of the band, so that's killer. All right, well, guys, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck do we need to do now?
Let's get a mayhem on, motherfuckers.
Yeah! Is your love life getting you down? Are you tired of beating your meat to the same old videos on Pornhub? Well, come on and take a trip with the Sick Ripper Van Rides and find out what love is really about in the back of our filthy rape van.
My girlfriend and I took a ride on Sick Ripper Van Rides, and it was awesome. She got chained up and raped in the back of the van while I ate McDonald's in the passenger seat. Sick Ripper even shot some video for us to have a lasting memory of the whole day. Thanks. Sick Ripper!
Yeah, take a ride in white trash style with Sick Ripper Van Rides. Smoke some crack with the girls of Hartford and strangle one with me. We'll plant that bitch in my special garden. Fuck yeah!
It was so wonderful. Finding a dead prostitute in Sick Ripper's garden. It felt so good to recycle. Let the cycle of life spread its wings. Yay!
Woo! Just open up your window and scream out, Sick Ripper! Today, and I'll be there to pick you up for a ride you'll never forget.
Oh my fucking god! Wow, Sick Ripper
so
Van Rides. Wow, Joey, that's some good stuff there, man. So fucking funny. And then me and Michael,
Oh,
as the
God.
callers. Michael's was real special.
That
so.
shit is too much.
Before that, Krotchripper and the song Bloodbath featuring you, Joey. Some
Yeah.
Goremonger there. So
Yep,
very
that was
cool.
off their Stalactite Cunt Shrine for the first album.
Awesome. And that was a great job, Joey, talking about Alex
Hell
and
yeah.
Krotchripper and
Hell
just
yeah.
cool
Alex
stuff.
is a
Little
homie,
piece of
man.
that interview. And the full interview tomorrow, you get to hear it all. So
Yeah,
very
listen
cool.
to it because it gets fucking pretty way out there. So if you like some weird shit.
I got a little mayhem story. Too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Very cool. Well, we are in Mayhem, and that's when we tell some stories if we've got some. And Joey and Chris, you guys both said you have a
I
story.
got a
so
little
you
something talking about
share?
Alex. I just wanted
Say it.
Yeah, I just want to talk about when Alex came down here to do the fucking interview with Joey and shit. They came over to my house or whatever. We're hanging out, got a fire going.
Went over
Yeah.
to the Shawback.
Yeah, went over to the Nation and shit. We're fucking hanging out, got a fire going, drinking beers. This Alex, he had a few. He had a few. Next thing you know, he's
Couple.
laying down in my yard, dude. And I went inside, got him a blanket, just threw a blanket on because it was a little chilly and shit.
Yeah.
He just like trolling it out, dude. Just like,
Wow.
he just like, thanks, bro. Just laid there in the yard, covered
You
up
didn't
for a
piss in
little
his
bit.
ear or anything?
No, I did not piss in his ear.
Passed
Well,
out
that's
next
good.
to the trash can.
Yeah, he did. He's just living that troll life.
Joey, what about you?
I mean, the mayhem I'm going to talk about sibling rivalry for a second. Now you got
Good way to put it. I love it.
You got Chris over here. Chris for 3 weeks, 3 podcasts. He ain't had no teeth, and he's been that. And now his brother Michael was so jealous of him that I came walking up to the nation today to get Chris for the podcast. Michael's sitting out front, fucking just looking miserable. Fucking pulls out a thing out of his mouth just covered in blood. He had got fucking like a quarter of his teeth ripped out the bottom fucking right half because he's getting his fucking teeth pulled out of the bottom and getting them replaced. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to get dentures. So he's going through that. But I'm like, this motherfucker wants to be like Chris so bad. He don't want no teeth either. He wants to be like his older brother. And
he
shit.
didn't do it himself, though, did he?
Not this time.
That's what my grandfather did.
I didn't do it this time.
No, Chris.
I've only done 2.
Chris was his dentist for a while. Now he actually went to a real one, I guess.
Right?
My grandfather pulled his teeth out with a pair of pliers and a fucking bucket and a bottle of whiskey.
Hell yeah.
And just fucking ripped them out. It was fucking crazy. Yeah, I was like, fuck all that. God damn. Brutal. All right. Well, we have got a good killer cage match tonight, guys. That's where we take 75 killers, 75 objects for them to fight with, and 15 variables to throw a little fun in there. And our listeners pick random numbers, and that's how we decide who's fighting and what they're fighting with.
Fuck yes.
Chris, what do we want to say?
We got Christy Grand, Gomo Wallbacon, and Rebecca Boomsock. So once again,
3 familiar faces in there. So thank you guys. And we got a good one going down tonight, Joey. Who's fighting to the death?
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so tonight we got fucking the Cream City Cannibal himself, Jeffrey Dahmer. He will lobotomize you, and he's gonna go up against the mob hitman. Whack whack
whack whack
whack whack. Brutal shit.
Hell yeah.
So this is a very interesting matchup. I don't think we've had whack whack in the
I don't think so.
Killer Cage before, so this is brutal, but Dahmer has got his fucking work cut out for him. But Chris, we're making it interesting with a couple of very funny objects here.
So tonight they got themselves a foot-long vibrator. That's pretty. Nobody said anything about girth or anything, just the length. So like, goddamn,
foot long. Could be like a straw.
It could be a straw. It could be
like
a 2-liter bottle of fucking Coke.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And they also got a hot poker.
Ooh.
Like, how hot is it?
I don't know. It's hot. Okay.
It's hot.
It's going to stay hot through the whole match. And the variable, Joey, what the fuck's the deal with this one, man?
From fucking Sunnyvale and fucking Trailer Park Boys, we got Bubbles himself, but he's got a horrible case of the crab.
You know how much
he
Bubbles
flips
loves
out.
that.
He flips out at that. So that was such a great episode when he's in the laundry mat.
Yeah, dude, he's got the hazmat suit on.
The cops come in there and take him out. Then he's all jacked off, and then they go steal like all those gallon jugs of fucking the crab shampoo. What the fuck? All right,
They gave the boner pills to Leahy and shit.
Right. So we got Dahmer and Whack Whack going at it in a steel cage to the death with a foot-long vibrator, a hot poker, and Bubbles with a terrible case of the crabs. What the fuck, Chris? Where do we even start with this?
I don't know. I'm fucking lost on this one. Bubbles is just too worried about getting himself fucking clean.
I don't see Bubbles doing a whole lot.
He's not much of the equation, dude. Like, he's like
jumping around, scratching himself.
Freaking
Jump
out.
around.
Jump
around.
Jump.
He's taking everything to the laundromat, like you said. Like, no, I ain't fucking around with these dudes.
Yeah,
I got
Bubbles
these
is out of
goddamn
the picture.
I got these goddamn crabs on me. I need to get rid of them. Fucking, thanks a lot, Ricky. So yeah. So then after that, I guess Whack Whack's gonna physically beat the shit out of fucking Dahmer. No,
I think so too.
Like,
I don't think
real.
Dahmer stands a chance with this dude, man.
Whack Whack can tell he's fucking a homosexual, and he's Whack Whack. He's a gangster. He don't like that shit. So he's like, he just grabs the poker and just starts pushing him back with the poker, like corralling him and shit. Takes the fucking dildo and just like sodomizes the shit out of Dahmer with it, and just like leaves him for dead. He's like, that's what you deserve. I'm giving it to Whack Whack.
Okay. Joey?
What I think is going to happen is I mean, like Chris said, fucking Whack Whack physically is probably going to fucking take Dahmer, so it's going to come down to all these fucking weapons and shit.
Especially if he's got that hot poker.
Yeah, so now,
or even the vibrator. Either way.
See, now
that's a bludgeoning
once
instrument.
the bell rings, fucking Dahmer goes for the only thing he knows, and that's dick. So he fucking grabs that fucking dildo. He's that was just instinct. He reaches out. In his hand's a dick.
Thank you very much.
He was like, fuck yeah.
Thank you very much.
So he grabs that. At the same time, fucking, you got Whack Whack. He's like, oh, fuck yeah, he's going to go grab that fucking hot poker. But lo and behold, right before he could fucking put his hands on the poker, Bubbles comes from behind, grabs it, and starts fucking cramming that hot poker into his own groin to kill those crabs. Because he's so fucking pissed about the goddamn crabs. And he ends up fucking killing himself and wasting the hot poker. So now fucking Whack Whack's over here just so fucking confused. What the fuck happened to my fucking weapon?
And
so fucking
swinging that fucking
Dahmer's got
vibrator.
that dildo, and he's like, okay, now I'm about to teach you a thing or two. I've been watching Exorcist 3 all day. And he fucking goes up and he gets Whack Whack because Whack Whack got his fucking weapon taken at the last second.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
Interesting.
I like it. He gets whacked.
Yeah, I think physically, I think Whack Whack's beating him down for sure. But I think it's all depends on who gets to that poker first.
Oh, yeah.
Because, man, that would be one hell of a weapon to be getting swung at you and then burned if it stays hot the whole time.
Shit, yeah.
That would be brutal. But I think Bubbles jumping up and down, scratching his shit. I like Joey's take on it.
I do like
with
that.
the burning the poker, burning the crabs with the poker. I don't even want to think about how bad that would fucking smell. But anyway.
Oh, man, that'd be fucking,
part of the fun, a killer cage
fucking
match
brutal.
is batting
It probably
these
smelled better than his
around.
fucking shed full of cat piss.
Oh, I guarantee it smells better than a shed full of cat piss. God damn.
All right, a quick update on the writing stuff. I've been getting a lot of listeners contacting me about the book, Deeper Than Dead, just coming out here.
I'm
June
reading
6th.
it now. I'm en route.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm probably like a third of the way through.
Oh,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm digging it.
Cool.
It. Deeper Than Dead.
Cool. Well, it's got 10 parts plus a bonus, which is the after hours at the Inferno Lounge. And so I've been getting some really positive reader feedback so far, so that's awesome. So thank you. DeeperThanDead.com is the website. It basically leads to the Facebook page. But here, once our new website's all redone, it'll go to a special page on my website that'll be all about the series and this first one that just comes out. Some of the updates, some of the backstory, the artwork, some examples of the cool Brian Usual did such a great job with the artwork on this one. So really good stuff. And having some these fucking posters I'm waiting on. I told the story about the first place and the posters showed up damaged. Anyway, I got a new place doing them and they're coming from fucking Germany, which I didn't know that when I ordered them because the company's out of fucking Delaware, for fuck's sake. So they were stuck in customs, and now they're in Memphis, still stuck in some custom hell. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Every person's hell is custom, dude.
Apparently. I'm just getting sick and tired of this. So, because we got orders for posters. These Deeper Than Dead posters are sick. 18 by 24. All the art pieces are on the poster. Really looks great. So I'm anxious to get them. They're
now we're in
100
Hayworth
pounds.
looking like some schmucks. Can't even give the people the goddamn posters.
That's right. So we'll have all that. And then also I'm working on a short story. I've mentioned this. I'm doing a sequel to the 666 Express. If you heard that was that last... I can't remember when we released that. It was Christmas.
I almost want to say it was a Christmas before.
It might have been the Christmas before, but we did the audio of the 666
it was
Express.
definitely not this past Christmas.
Because you did the wreath.
Yeah.
It did the wreath, the one before that.
But and then didn't you bring it back last year, though?
I think I might have, I think you're right. So anyway, the 666 Express were me and you guys, and CK were all on this train. It's kind of crazy. But if you missed it, go listen to that because it's cool. We all do our voices, and then Brad Tucker did the narrative. It just does such a great job. And now this follow-up. So we all die in the 666 Express, but we come back for the sequel. It's like kind of like Kenny in South Park, you know?
Yeah, right. We'll go with
so
that.
We're
always here for the new
We're
episode.
in a new scenario now in New York City subways, and this one's called Create the Chaos, and it's pretty badass. And we're joined by Sean from In Malice's Wake. Sean Ferrugi is coming over from Australia. And we're going to have him doing the voice of his character, and we're going to do our voices again. So we're going to record the audio of that. And then I'm also going to release both stories together in a special printed book with Brian Usual doing the artwork, and then both stories in there, and also looking at possibly including a CD with that, with both of the audio versions of the story. So you get the whole thing. So, lots of cool things going on with the writing, so thanks to everybody that's a listener that likes that stuff as well. I know it's not for everybody, but those of you that do, if you like, you know, Stephen King, Clive Barker, Lovecraft, Poe, shit like that, that's my thing. So check it out. The new website we've been talking about, hoping to have it done by the end of the month. Jeremy Babin's doing a great job. He's working on the podcast side of it now. And then the web store will be the last thing, and then it'll be launched. So we'll keep you posted. Also, our YouTube channel, subscribe to that. You get the notifications coming in when we update the content. We've been doing that. Some good videos on there, some interviews, and some funny just outtakes and shit like that. And getting ready to put on there the audio and video of the Leviticity segment that you did, Joey, for the metal segment a couple episodes ago. So that's going to be the next thing that comes up. All right, well, I think we have done plenty of mayhem tonight, boys. So let's hit that fucking outro.
With human life is always dead. Still the stars will rise as millions swarm immobilized with dread.
God almighty, man. Misery Index. The new one, Complete Control, that was the song Necessary Suffering. So fucking brutal.
Fucking drums are insane.
Adam Jarvis, man, I watched the drum playthrough for not this album, the one before it. Oh my God. I mean, that's a treat to watch a drum playthrough that he does of one of his songs.
I like watching like drum playthroughs a lot.
Those are cool.
It's like, holy fuck, you watch them play like they're double kick. Oh my God.
Yeah, we
and
watched
the blast
one,
beats and shit, dude.
We watched one for Angelus Apatrida, and he's a really good drummer, but Jenny, you know, she's not a metalhead.
Right.
And I was watching, and she was just like, holy crap, like I never realized like that's all what they're doing back there. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's crazy. And this guy's good, but not on the level of like this Adam Jarvis shit, like, or that dude from Lust of Decay. What was that guy's name?
Jordan Varela.
Oh my fucking God, man. Wow. Yeah, I got to stand like side stage at a couple of those CIMs, and that was ridiculous, man. Wow.
I seen a couple drum playthroughs. The dude from fucking Impin' Annihilator, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. He's insane too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Last time fucking when Misery Index played Full Terror, like, I just fucking sat back and watched Jarvis fucking
just go. Dude, that's always
unreal.
been my thing, though. Like, I watch drummers a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably has a lot to do with, like, back in, like, the low 12 sedition days and shit.
Right.
I was basically Craig's roadie, so I was, like, watching him play drums all the time, dude. So, like, all drums have been a thing.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like watching the bass playthroughs for like Death.
Yeah.
Like, always wonder, like, how does he do that? You know, and it's like, oh shit, that's how he's playing that. You know, it's kind of cool, you know. All right, well, that was wicked. And bumper music tonight, Joey, who did we play?
Played fucking Krotchripper, Misery Index, and Jungle Rat.
Hell yeah. Chris, that metal segment intro music.
Fucking Chrysix always.
I can
dude, I can see it better, dude.
Tomorrow, Chris. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, man.
Murder Metal Mayhem intro music by Low Fucking 12, of course. Thanks to all you guys listening. Oh, I wanted to mention that a listener sent a message, an email to me and said, what song is that? You guys always say it's Low 12. Chris, what song is that we play at the beginning of every episode?
Song? That's fucking Crawl Space, dude.
Hell yeah,
12,
Crawl
man.
Space about John Wayne Gacy. When we started doing the show, we talked about what we were going to use, and I'm like, well, we know we can use all the Low 12 stuff we want. So Chris is like, man, we ought to play Crawl Space.
Crawl
I'm like,
Space,
fuck
dude.
yeah, dude. That was definitely a staple in the Low 12 show. So that's the song. If you're interested to hear the full song, it's out there. We actually had a fan did a video of that song that's on YouTube. If you want to watch that, it's kind of cool. All right. Thanks to everybody out there listening. We keep seeing those numbers rolling in, and we just really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah,
and
thank y'all.
everything. I mean, you guys make this fun to do, and just keep telling your friends about it. And, you know, these last 4 years have been a blast, and we just genuinely enjoy doing this. I know you can tell that from listening, but there's no fakeness here. It's all legit, just having a good time.
You're all a bunch of fucking slaves.
Chris, what about that first commenter there?
We got Paul D'Angelo says, I just heard about you from a friend at work, and I can't stop listening now. I'm in Manchester, England, and I've been a metal fan for 40 years. I love the way you discuss true crime and metal. The Denny episode was fucking great. Well, fucking thank you, Paul, dude. Thanks for listening, man.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Joey, what about that second one?
Doris Jennings, 3453, said, I really like the episode you did on Megan Huntsman and also the one on Dirty Gertie. Both of them bitches need to ride in hell. Those commercials you guys do are really funny, and the karaoke shit is too. I listen to you from Phoenix, but I'm originally from El Paso.
Oh, yeah.
El Paso, Illinois.
I was going to say El Paso
Texas.
is only like 25
El Paso's not that far.
Could be very far apart. But that's cool. Thank you, Doris. Got one here, Alton with a 45. I like that. Commented, you guys are the best. I've been listening since 2019. Wow, that's cool. And you guys helped get me through the pandemic, laughing my ass off. That's really cool. I think my neighbors think I'm nuts. I loved the interview Joey did with Von Young. I've been a fan of his for years. I'm from Rockford. So
Fucking right.
Very
Illinois,
cool.
living it up.
And Chris, what about the last one?
Oh, we got Ken Griffith, like Ken Griffith Jr.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ken Griffith says, loving Deeper Than Dead so far, Pete. I'm about halfway through, and it's probably the best book I've read in years. So
Wow.
Fucking right, dude.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that very much. All right, you could pick up Deeper Than Dead by going to deeperthandead.com and get your copy. We have the Infernal Deluxe Edition in full color, which is 8.5 by 11 in size on high-quality paper, and also the standard paperback size in black and white with some wicked full-size posters when they get here.
Whenever they fucking
God
show
almighty.
up. Damn,
Those of you that ordered it, I appreciate your patience. Everybody's been totally cool. You guys know what's up. As soon as I get them, so will you. But deeperthandead.com. Big thanks to the guys in Blasphemation.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
really
man.
cool. They sponsored us for the month of
check
May.
this
So
shit
thank
out.
you guys from
Fuck yeah.
Tampa, Florida. And that big Tampa Death Fest going on September 30th through October 2nd at the
Their
Brass Mug.
Their new full length coming up,
Hell yeah.
Phantasmagoria Beyond Strange. Fucking
Yeah, that's fucking
check
sick.
that
We've
shit
already
out.
played a couple cuts from that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So really wicked shit. So appreciate it, guys, very, very much. And we'll link to them in the episode description and support the underground. Buy some merch. You know, that helps these bands get, through, gets from place to place because gas is just fucking out of control. I can't imagine,
Fuck, man.
trying to fill up a van, pulling a trailer nowadays. Oh, my God. So murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all the past episodes. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And on any platform you listen, if you can leave a comment or rate it or anything like that, it helps.
help out, dude.
So thank you very much. And you can support the show by going to patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. Join that 666 club.
Get fucking episodes early. You get all the bonus content that we don't give to other people.
That's right. And you get discounts on merch and just $3 a month. That's all it is. and you can be a Patreon supporter, and we appreciate that for those of you that already do. Can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. This is a blast from the past. This is one Tex told me was his favorite, so I'm playing this for Tex. So crank it up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And just don't kill babies, please.
I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in? Tripped the cab, here I am for the first time. Look to my right and I see the Hayward sign. This is all so crazy. Everybody seems so famous. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. And when the taxi man turned on the radio, a Creator song was on. A Creator song was on. A Creator song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. I'm nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up to play my song. They know I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Into the club in my taxi cab, everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that dude that's rocking kicks? He's gotta be from out of town. So hard with my boys not around me. It's definitely not a horn type party. Cause all I see are fucking posers. I guess I never got the memo. My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. And when the DJ dropped my favorite tune and a harlot song was on. A harlot song was on. A harlot song was on. So I put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. I'm nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up, playing my song. You know they're gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Feel like hopping on a flight back to my hometown tonight. Something stops me every time. Every fucking time. The DJ plays my song and I feel alright. Yeah. So I put my hands up to play my song. Butterflies fly away. I'm nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. My hands up to play my song. And now I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. So I put my hands up, playing my song. Butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up to playing my song. And I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Yeah, it's a party in the USA. Fuck yeah, 3 years. Murder Metal Mayhem.
Mother, man.